A lot has been talked about with Andres Munoz's new kick changeup or with the exit velocities coming off of Mitch Garver's bat. But this is three key storylines in Mariner spring training that nobody is talking about. Ooh, also make sure you are following us on Instagram because I'm trying to go live with batting practice and stuff from the backfields every morning. I can't promise it'll be every morning, but I'm trying to do it as much as I can. So make sure you follow us on Instagram at Mojo Mariner. And the first one is that Jorge Polanco has not taken an at bat yet in a spring training game. I think that's something we really need to keep an eye on because we know that he's supposed to be the starting third baseman for the Mariners. And the fact that he hasn't taken an at bat yet when he's coming off of a downright terrible year does make me worried for how that knee is healing up. As far as I know, he's still going to be good to go for opening day. But I would have thought by now he would have taken an at bat. Now I may be saying that he may literally be put in the lineup today, that after I release this, but as of today, he has yet to take a spring training at bat. And that worries me because if Polanco is as important of a guy as the Mariners are making him out to be during going into 2025, he needs to be out there on the field. Also, clearly, I'm not in my normal setup, so if it sounds weird or if there's like extra noises, I'm in a hotel right now down in Peoria for the month to bring all this content to you guys. But I think that with Jorge Polanco, man, we really need the Jorge Polanco of old. We really need the Minnesota Twins version of Jorge Polanco because he was terrible last year. And there are other guys. Again, I just talked about with Ben Williamson hitting the cover off the ball so far this spring. That's an option. Like, where do the Mariners go if Jorge Polanco isn't ready to play third base? Can they make another move? I don't know. Obviously, Arenado's still out there. That's not going to happen at this point. But the next thing on my list actually ties into that. That is that Ryan Bliss has been taking some reps over there at third base. Now, this does not signify a position change for Ryan Bliss. This just shows him increasing his versatility. And maybe that is because Jorge might not be ready for opening day. Who knows, right? We don't know for sure. But with Jorge not taking that bat yet, Ryan Bliss taking reps over at third base, it's kind of indicative of where things are at right now with third base. Now, again, Jorge may be ready for opening day, and this is purely Bliss trying to increase his positional versatility to get ready for the year. And honestly, that is probably what this is because we know that Dylan Moore is going to be your starting second baseman. That has been talked about. There's a chance that Bliss plays his way into it, but it's unlikely. Leo Rivas right now is on the team and on your 26 man, frankly, because he can play multiple positions. Ryan Bliss is truly kind of just a second baseman, and we know what he can do on the base paths, but is his bat better than Leo's? Probably. So if he's able to increase his positional versatility, play a little bit of third base, for example, that makes him more valuable, meaning that maybe you don't have to roster Leo Rivas going into 2025. I'd much rather have the upside of Ryan Bliss's bat on the team than Leo Rivas. And Ryan Bliss could be taking over as that like super utility role that Dylan Moore was for the past couple of years. I think that could be definitely something that the Mariners tried to do here with moving Ryan Bliss to third base. Now, again, it's not a full move. That I shouldn't have used that wording. It is increasing his positional versatility. I said during a live stream, which make sure you're subscribed if you're not already. We did do a live stream yesterday, kind of recapping everything so far in spring. I'm going to try to do them almost every day that I'm down here. I talked about how I wouldn't be shocked to see Ryan Bliss go take a few reps in the outfield at some point and just, again, continue to increase that positional versatility. I think that with him doing that, he turns himself into such a more valuable piece than what he is as purely a second baseman. Is his bat ever going to be is he ever going to have enough power to be like a third baseman? No, probably not. I don't think he has enough pop in his bat to do that for his little frame. But if he can play the position, if he can, late in games take Jorge Polanco out as a defensive replacement, that makes Ryan Bliss 100 times more valuable than he is right now, and that gives him a really, really good shot at making this team out of spring training. Where originally I didn't see it happening. We know that Cole Young is going to AAA. We know that Ben Williamson is going to AAA. Cole Young will play short. Williamson will play third. Everyone thought it would be Ryan Bliss at second and maybe Locklear at first. Really fun infield for the Tacoma Rainiers. But if you can have Bliss on the opening day roster and have Rivas be the second baseman on AAA, I am all for it. And then the third thing I want to talk about here that I've seen people mention it, but I think it got kind of outshined by Andres Munoz's new kick changeup, and that is Logan Gilbert's new pitch that he's been toying around with. I think he threw it in a bullpen for ball four, so he's worried that Cal's not going to let him throw it anymore. But it is apparently a curveball, a curveball that he has dubbed Big Mike after Mike Baumann from the 2024 team. Obviously, Mike Baumann came over from the Orioles. He had been designated for assignment. Really good curveball, but just could not stick with the team. Just not good enough. Logan already has a curveball, but this one he says has a lot more sharp break to it, and it's not as like it doesn't have the big hump in the middle like his curveball currently does. This one's more of just a boom, just like straight falls off the table. And when he threw it in a bullpen, I think it was Pete Woodworth said it was the best pitch he'd ever seen until he saw Andres Munoz throw his kick changeup. So I think that for Logan, we know that he likes to tinker, and we know that he has 100 pitches as it is. But if he just continues to perfect an out pitch on, in this case, probably against right-handed hitters, Logan could really take it to the next step this year. Now, he has to stay healthy. We know that he threw the most innings of any starting pitcher in baseball last year, at least in the American League. Maybe not baseball, but yeah, if he can stay healthy and he has developed this like 10th pitch, this second curveball, this as good as everyone says it is. I think that Logan could be looking at another big year, and this time being able to finish strong because we know he was great, but he fell off a little bit, which is why Logan Gilbert was not like a top three Cy Young finalist. I think that as we look forward to 2025, injuries play a role for this team in a big way. But if the starting rotation can stay healthy, specifically Logan Gilbert, the Mariners are in for a very, very good year. A little bonus one here because I did mention it at the beginning of the pod, but with Cole Young and his elbow soreness, is it? He's able to play in games. He's looked fine in games so far, and he's been able to take all the batting practice swings and whatnot. So I'm not too terribly worried about it. But it is a bit alarming that, a 21, 22-year-old kid has, arm soreness as a second baseman this early in spring. I mean, everyone's going to have a little bit of a dead arm period coming out of the offseason. This is kind of the way it works. So hopefully that's all it is. But it does worry me a little bit that, he's having this trouble to where he hasn't been able to play the field so far. It's probably nothing. And we could be looking at this in a few months, be like, oh, yeah, we had no reason to be worried. He was completely fine. And like I said, he's been able to take all his at bats. I don't think the Mariners would let him go out there and swing a bat if he was not fine and they just were resting him. And so I don't think it's something we should be worried about, but I do think it is something that we should keep an eye on, similar to that with, like I said, with Jorge Polanco's knee. And, as Matt Brash comes back from recovery, how he's looking, because I know there was talks about him being down only throwing like 91. Of course, it's very early in spring while he's rehabbing. So yeah, that's why he wasn't throwing 100%. But overall, the injury updates for this team as we go throughout spring training are another thing to keep an eye on. Let me know in the comments down below if I forgot anything. I appreciate you guys watching this one, and go Mariners.